What's up, y'all? Welcome to my channel. If you guys are new here and if you guys are a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back here. It means a whole lot to me. So I have not posted in a good minute. So much stuff has been going on, and yeah, I have not been posting. So I've been living on my own for about 6 months or so, and it feels weird because I feel like I just moved in here and it's already been 6 months. Time was going by hella fast. And I wanted to talk about 5 things I wish I knew before actually living on my own. And I've learned so much during this 6 months span of living on my own, and I feel like I'm gonna learn so much more over time as well. Number 1 is budgeting. This should be the number 1 priority, is budgeting. Budgeting should already be a priority if you're moving out or if you're already on your own. But let's say you're in the process of trying to move out, maybe you want to move out. Even if you were with like a roommate or a partner or whatever the case is, it's still important to budget, but it's really crucial to budget if you're living by yourself. I feel like budgeting is really such a very important skill to have. And I say skill because a lot of people know they need to budget, but they don't budget, and it could be really difficult if it's not something that you normally do. So I think it is a skill set that that anybody can learn, of course, but it could be challenging if you are a big spender and you don't want to save much. So you really need to sit down and write it down. I like to write it down. So what I do each month is I will write down what's coming in and what's coming out, and then divide that into what things I need to pay, such as rent and food and other essential stuff that I will need to buy. That amount that's left, I try to put that in like a savings. Try to save as much as possible. And what I mean is really seeing what's coming in and what's coming out. I think that is very important, because sometimes if you don't do that, you're not really noticing money that you could be saving up more. You know, before living on my own, I used to get Wingstop a lot. I love me, so I still do like Wingstop, but I knew that without moved on my own, I was gonna have to cut back on that, because Wingstop, first of all, is pricey, but it can add up over time if you're buying it each week, you know? So I did cut back on that, and I started to notice I had extra money where I can actually put that in my savings from that, which was great, honestly, because that's extra money that you can, put in your savings. But the point is, write it down, track it on like your computer using Excel, however you need to do it, track it. You'll be really surprised at how much money you're wasting that you can be putting that money towards something else or in your savings account. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a young buck out here just giving advice based on what I've been learning living on my own. Been doing good with it so far, I would say. So something that you want to definitely do, especially if you're on your own. If you don't budget, you're literally going to be running out of money. So that's crucial, the budget. Number 2 is an emergency fund. Now, emergency fund and budgeting really kind of goes hand in hand somewhat. An emergency fund is really important too before you actually move out on your own, or maybe you're looking to move out in the future, or whatever the case is. You need to have an emergency fund. Before moving out, I knew an emergency fund was important, but looking back at it, I wish that I would have built my emergency fund longer. So it's recommended to have like an emergency fund for about 3 to 6 months in case an emergency happens, unplanned expenses, loss of income, any sort of financial emergency that can possibly prevent you from paying your rent. You want to make sure you just have that set aside so you'll be okay. I definitely wish before moving out I would have built that emergency fund up longer, so that way if something was to happen, I would be okay. Thankfully nothing happened, but it's definitely crucial to have an emergency fund in case something happens, because shit does happen, life happens, and you just want to be prepared when those things occur. And if you are looking to move out, you want to just put money aside towards that and build that up for at least a few months so you'll be Gucci. Number 3 is cooking. Now, I feel like this is such an underrated thing. Most people don't really talk about cooking when you are living on your own. At least to me, I don't really hear people talk about cooking too much, but it's crucial, especially today, day of age, with everything being hella expensive. You need to learn how to cook some meals, and it's something that you just need to know how to do. Now, before moving out, I did not know how to cook. I knew how to cook basic foods, I was really like a pro at breakfast. Like, you wanted some pancakes, some hash browns, some omelet, like I got you, but you're gonna have to figure out what you're gonna eat for dinner or lunch, because I don't know. So So I knew I'm gonna have to learn how to cook, you know, living on my own. Especially me, I love home cooked meals. I'm not a big fan of fast food, so I try not to eat it. And again, it adds up over time, eating out all the time. So I definitely knew that was gonna be a challenge, but I started to really look up dishes, simple dishes that were affordable and kind of, I felt like, easy to maybe make. And I started trying out dishes that my mom would make and try to cook something similar to how she cooked it, you know what I'm saying? Fast forward today, you know, I cook pretty much most or all my food. I don't really eat out that much. A lot of my meals that I do eat are from me cooking it, and I've gotten better at it, you know? Some food doesn't taste that good, but it's a trial, you know? You try something, try it again, and you may get better at it, you know? So, very important to learn how to cook and know how to cook. Another thing that I also do is meal prep. I never really looked into meal prep that much. I always thought for some reason meal prep was just something if you're trying to lose weight, but it's important to meal prep. You know, if you are super busy throughout the week or you're tired from work, you still gotta eat. And by you meal prepping, you basically don't have to cook. And you're saving money because you're not gonna eat out, you know what I'm saying, if you're tired. I've meal prep often actually because I do get tired after work, or you know, sometimes I just don't wanna cook or something. And I will eat off of my meal prep meals for at least 2 or 3 days. That saves me a lot of money, saves me a lot of energy, a lot of time, and you just basically cook it. That's if you're a person that likes eating the same meal. I don't mind eating the same meal for a few days if it's good, and it's something that I think most people should do or try out at least. As far as like produce, a lot of my produce that I have is frozen. So like, you know, for example, like bananas, you know, bananas get old fast. So I will freeze my bananas up and you can eat them later on by putting them in, you know, some smoothies, or they last longer. And just little stuff that you kind of learn over time living on your own and saving money, so. Number 4, groceries. So groceries and cooking kind of goes hand in hand as well. As you guys know, it's high as hell right now. Everything is super high at stores. So it's important to try to purchase food that will last you, find on a budget, and it's affordable. So one thing I hate, you know, is wasting money. So I always make sure that I try to find good deals at stores, good sales, and I always buy in bulks when I go to the store and buy food. So a lot of like maybe like pasta or chicken, or I try to find really good deals, and then I'll buy that in bulk to where I don't have to actually spend a lot on money on groceries. Now it is pricey to an extent, buying in bulk sometimes, depending where you get it from, but it saves you money in the long term because you're buying these big portions, you know, you're eating off of that. I mean, it really depends on your preference of eating. I mean, if you're a person who doesn't really eat a lot and maybe it takes you longer to eat food and you wait too long, the food gets old, end up throwing it away, it's a waste of money too. So it really kind of varies off of your eating habit. For me, I buy in bulks to where I don't have to go to the store often and have stuff left over from another day. But it really depends, you know. A lot of things that I do get before I go to the store, I get a lot of newspapers that I get usually sometime from the store when I do go, or sometimes they'll either mail it out to me. I'll look at those, you know, tells you different promotions on items and vegetables and fruits and meats and all that. You know, it helps you save a lot of money on that too. You can find which store has it cheaper and which store you can buy it in bulk. And I would say before I didn't really do that. I did not really look at the newspaper. I didn't really, I mean, of course I would see sometimes what store had it cheaper, but most of the time I just went to the store and bought what I needed. But it's important now, especially if you're on your own, everything's expensive, to look and analyze what store has it cheaper and what you can get a better buck for your money for. So moral of the story, be realistic with your eating habit and save where you can, because it's high as hell now. So last but least, number 5, cleaning. Now, I knew cleaning was important. I mean, if you live even at your parents' house or anywhere, you know you're gonna have to clean. But I think if you're on your own, it's really crucial to learn how to clean, because if you don't clean, it's gonna get dirty. You know, there's not gonna be someone there telling you, hey, yo, you need to clean this up. It's gonna be you. You know, if you wanna live like a pig, you can basically live like a pig, you know what I'm saying? But then you might get cockroaches. You don't want no cockroaches. I definitely make a routine to clean my place. I noticed that if I don't clean it, it gets dirty fast, obviously. So I definitely get into like a routine. Usually my routine is at the end of the week. So usually like Sunday, I'll go ahead and try to basically clean my whole place up and wash and clean everything by the end of the week. So that way by Monday comes, it's basically a new week. Everything's clean, you feel kind of decluttered. Kind of helps set the tone for your day too somewhat. So it's important to clean. You gotta clean, man. You gotta getting a routine to clean and getting the habit of cleaning. You know, I try to clean as I go, because if you don't, you just have a whole bunch of dishes, which dishes tend to stack up hella fast often for some reason. Let's say you got dishes and you just basically don't wash the dishes for those few days, you're gonna have a big stack of dishes. You might feel overwhelmed, and then you might be like, I don't feel like doing it. You're gonna postpone it, and your place is gonna end up getting dirty, and you're gonna get cockroaches. And you don't want no cockroaches. So you gotta get in the habit of cleaning, and at least somewhat getting in a routine of cleaning it, because again, no one's there to tell you to clean. So you kind of just have to know to do that. A clean place equals a clean mindset. Now, so much of adulting is not knowing what you are doing and really just learning as you go. I mean, there's not like a book for how to, I mean, there might be a book to how to be an adult, but I mean, really, it's just one of those things you learn as you go. Figure out things, you're gonna see what works, what doesn't work. And I think living on my own, I've really learned a lot and kind of understood myself as a person. And I think personally, everybody should live on their own at some point in their life, because you just learn so much about yourself, and it's such a huge transformation and growing, you know, as a person. So hopefully these 5 things were helpful to you. If it was, make sure you go ahead and hit that like and that subscribe button, and I will see you guys on my next video. Peace.